Welcome to Python Basics with EJD. Still in the spirit of Python variable data structures. In this video, I'll be looking at list and tuple operations in Python. Well, I'm lumping list and tuples together because tuples are basically immutable. So we don't have so much to do with them because we cannot add, subtract, and replace things in a tuple. So that's why I'm putting the two together. Normally, I should have separated them. Okay, so let's go ahead and open Colab, Google Colab, which is our integrated development environment, kind of. So, um, okay, so list and tuple operations. List and tuple operations. Yeah. So list and tuple operations in Python, I think that's the better title. List and tuple operations in Python. Right. Okay. So we have seen already what list and tuples are. So now we want to just do some, want to go in depth and look at some possibilities as far as lists are concerned. First of all, we see that lists are ordered collections of items that can be added to, removed from, or modified. And that is the idea of mutability. Okay, because they can be added to, removed from, and modified, then we say they are mutable. Then ordered, because they are ordered, it means you can reference their elements based on position. So lists are defined using square brackets. So you can define lists using square brackets. Then you can add an item to a list using the append method or by using the plus operator. We are going to see all that as we move on. Then you can remove an item from a list using the remove or pop method. We'll see all of this later. Then you can modify an item in a list by assigning a new value to the item at a specific index, right? So let's see a list of operations and functions on list, right? So first of all, you can concatenate two lists. So, and the sign you use for that is plus. So the description, you can concatenate two lists using plus sign. For instance, you have my list 1, 2, 3, my list 4, 5, 6. Of course, this is a list because of the square brackets. And if you want to create a third list, which is the addition of the first and second list. So by the time you print your list 3, it's going to be a collection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 together. All right. Then you can repeat items. You can actually repeat a list of specified number, a specified number of times using asterisk. Imagine my list is 1, 2. Your new list, you now want your new list to be my list in 3 places. So this list 1, 2, now you want the element to appear 3 times. So if at the time you print your new list, the output to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 because you want it to be 3 times. So we're going to do some actual examples in the cells. So watch out for that. Then you can use len, L-E-N, which returns the first list. It returns the length of a list. So the length of a list is actually the number of elements, the number of items in that list. So you have my list 1, 2, 3. So if you print len my list, it means it's going to give you 3 because you have 3 elements in that list. Then you have append. We talked about append in the previous video where we saw that append adds an item to the end of a list. Because a list is ordered, when you append an element to a pre-existing list, whatever you add is going to be added to the end of the list because order is important. So you have my list 1, 2, 3. My list dot append 4 means you want to add 4 at the end of after 3. So if you print my list, you now have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's list. Then we can have insert. So insert helps to insert an item at a specific position in a list. Imagine you have my list 1, 2, 3, and you now say my list dot insert 1, 4. What this simply means is that you are going to insert the number 4 in position 1, right? And in Python, position starts from 0. So 1 is at 0, 2 is at 1, and 3 is at 2. So at position 1, you have 2. So by the time you run this now, 4 is going to push 2 away from where it is currently and push it to the next level. So by the time you print my list, you now have 4 occupying the first position, position 1. The first position is actually 0, right? So 1 remains at 0. 2 that was at 1 is moved because 4 now replaces it. And you now have 2 at position 3 and 3 at position 4. That's what insert does. Then we can talk about remove. So remove helps to remove the first occurrence of the value from a list. For instance, you have my list 1, 2, 3. My list dot remove 2 means remove 2. So if you have more than 1, 2, the first 2 will be removed like that. So by the time you print my list, 2 is gone. So you have just 1, 3. Then you have pop also, which is a kind of remove, but maybe a different type. So pop removes and returns the item at a specific position in a list, right? For instance, if I say my list is 1, 2, 3, so item, my list dot pop 1, that means remove whatever element is at position 1. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 1 is at position 0, 2 is at position 1, and 3 is at position 2. My list dot pop 1 means remove whatever is at position 1. It's not removing number 1, it's removing whatever is at position 1, right? So by the time you print the item, right? So print item, you have assigned what you're popping to item. So by the time you print the item, the item is going to be 2. And by the time you print the list that is now remaining after popping the item in position 1, you now have 1, 3 left because 2 was at position 1 and it has been popped and saved as item. That's why you have for item, you have 2. For the new list, now you have 1, 3. 1, 3. Then we go for index, all right? Index returns the index of the first occurrence of a value in a list. So my list is 1, 2, 3, for instance, and you're assigning the variable name index to my list.index2. So by the time you print index now, it is going to give you, so the output is going to be 1, okay? So because it returns the index of the first occurrence of a value in a list, okay? So, the first occurrence of 2 in this list is at position 1. That is why the output is 1, because the index of 2 is 1, the index of 1 is 0, the index of 2 is 1, the index of 3 is 2. That is why the index is giving you 1, because 2, the first 2 you have here, you have only 1, 2, by the way, but if you have more than 1, 2, the first 2 is at position 1. So that helps you to locate the position of that element you're interested in. Now, when we come to count, count returns the list. It returns the number of occurrence of a value in the list. For instance, my list 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. So count, my list dot count 2. So you are saving the number of 2s here. My list dot count 2 counts the number of 2s you have in that list, and it is saved as variable name count. So you have 2 2s here, right? By the time you print the count, the output is 2 because you have 2 2s, right? Not because it is 2 itself, but because 2 appears twice, right? Then we can go to talk about sort. No, we can do sorting when we come to lists. We're still dealing with lists for now. So sort helps to sort the items in a list in ascending order. So if you have my list 3, 1, 2, of course, this space you're seeing, it's actually underscore. So don't because normally a variable name cannot have space. So it is my underscore list. Though you cannot see the underscore, but it's there. My underscore list 3, 1, 2. My list of sort now means by the time you print your list now, so it will sort it according in ascending order from 1, 2, 3. Or if you are dealing with strings, to sort it in alphabetical order. Then you can also reverse a list, right? So reverses the order of the items in a list. So my underscore list is 1, 2, 3. My underscore list dot reverse means you now have 3 to 1 like this. So we are going to do actual examples in the cells following. So let's take them one after the other as much as we can. So in concatenating a list, you have first list, the variable name is my list 1, and it contains elements 1, 2, 3. Then my list 2 contains 4, 5, 6. My list 3 is now my list 1 plus my list 2. If you add the two lists together, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like we saw up there. So if I run this now, the first running actually takes a bit of time, but subsequently things become faster. So now we have been able to join these two lists together, and this joining now, if it was just one thing you had here, right? If all you had here was 6, so it will work like you are appending the 6. So you're adding the 6 at the end of 1, 2, 3. But then we need the whole of it, right? And then what if you want to repeat a list? We saw repetition the other time, so you have my list 1, 2, new list, my list star 5. So if you print new list and you have 1, 2, 1, 2 in 5 places, all right? So you have 1, 2, 1, 2 in 5 places. Now, this is particularly good if you imagine that you have an imposition, right? Maybe you're told to go and type, maybe you did something wrong, and you're told to say, I will never do that again, 1,000 times. So imagine it was the kind of punishment we had back in primary school or so, where you had to write an imposition and you say, I'll never do that again 1,000 times. If you're allowed to type it, Python can actually help you out. So let's see a situation where we can actually do something like that. I'll create a new cell. I need a code cell now. Where's the end of this? Okay, because I've expanded it. Okay, let me just use alternate enter so that it can create a new cell automatically. Good. So imagine we have an imposition, all right? And So maybe just name a variable, a string variable called I will never do that again. I will never do that again. So even if you have to copy and paste, which is still easy, right? If you have to copy and paste, and it's easy, imagine having to do all that, copy and paste 1,000 times. Of course, it's easier than having to write it 1,000 times or having to type it 1,000 times. But with this repetition of lists, you can actually do that in a single blow. For instance, now, so I write the variable name is in position. I will never do that again. And then now I want maybe I now want to print, so I can just print in position. All right, I print in position times 5. Okay. Now you see the trouble with this is that it just keeps going endlessly. So, but what if I want to arrange it in that horizontal order? What can I do here? Can I say \n? Let me see. Let me see if I can do \n for this. It doesn't work. What can I do with this? Okay, I think there's another way out. Let me just say repeat in position. Okay, so repeat in position, and I say you have so the original in position. So I now have the original. I'm trying to think about this. Okay, I think I can do it in the place of print. Yeah. Let me see if I can do it in the place of print. Hmm. Hmm. Or we can just go ahead and print directly. I think we can do that. Okay, let me try. Just trying to see different ways. We can go straight. So let's say print this, and then so here now we need \n right here, and then this happens 5 times. Let me try 5 times. Then if it works, yes, this works perfectly. So in this case now, I want it 1,000 times. So you just type 1,000, and in one blow, you have all that. So it's so lengthy. So you see it goes endlessly, right? So there are other ways of doing this, you know. So you can just have your imposition in one blow 1,000 times. I will never do that again 1,000 times. Now, the reason for, when we're working with strings, right? You remember the reason for this \n is just so that after each sentence, it goes, you have a new line. If I remove this now, everything just goes and it's, just scattered, just goes forever. I know that it's not so tidy. But here I want to have it \n, and that makes things tidier, right? So we can do that. So you can actually use that repetition thing for, duplicating things like that. Okay, so now that we have taken care of that, let's look at other possibilities with list. So of course, we also saw that we could do list length, right? You want to do the number of elements in a list. So if you say my list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so print length my list, the answer is going to be 5 because there are 5 elements there. Then of course you can append item to a list. Of course, we've seen this 1, 2, 3. You want to append 4 to it, just run that you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can also imagine that we have a class register. So I call that class register 3, right? So class register 3, it involves these following names: Adekunle, Akinshope, Christiana, Chukudi, Godonyo, Jemima, Kolade, and Tolulope in a class, right? And then want to add a new student to the class called Margaret. So we have class. So in that case, I just take this variable name, class underscore register underscore 3 dot append Margaret. So it will add Margaret as the last name in the class because that's the new student. So by the time you print class register 3, you see you have not just stopping at the local, you have Margaret now added to the class. So you can append an item to a list like that. Okay. So of course, we also did counting that time. You want to count the number of students in a class. So here you have my list 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. So I want to count the number of twos here, right? So in this case, you just say count is equal to my list dot count 2. So we want to count the number of 2s in that list. So if you run that now, you have 6 right there. So you want to know the frequency of a particular item in a list. Count does the job. So again, we are back to my class register 3. So imagine that you want to count the number of Godoyons in a particular class. So now I've updated my class register 3 to be Adekunle, Akinshope, Christiana, Chukwudi, Godoyon twice, Jemima, Kolade, Tolulope. If I can still add Godoyon one more time. So Godoyon. So we have Godoyon 3 times. So let's assume we don't know what the register looks like, but you can actually count like that. So this is going to be 3 now. So if I run this, you have Godoyon appearing 3 times. And then we have sort list. You can actually sort a list. That's always very useful if you're working with numbers. So, or even letters, right? So my list 3, 1, 2, 6, 4, 7, 5, 8, 10, 9. So you want to just sort everything so that it can be in order. So you just say my list dot sort, and then you print my list now after sorting, and then 3, 1, 2, 6 just becomes 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when you're working with strings, the sorting works in alphabetical order. Imagine class register 1 containing Chikudi, Akinshope, Tolulope, Kolade, Christiana, Adekunle, Godoy, and Jemima. You can see the list is not in alphabetical order, and it's always good to do things in alphabetical order for easy tracing. If you need to trace something, it's easier to go and look for names when everything has been sorted and when it's scattered like this. So if you sort this, to sort this, and just a class underscore register underscore 1 dot sort, and then if you print that now, then you have you expect to have Adekunle as the first person, followed by Akinshope, and then followed by Chukudi, and so on and so forth. And then that's exactly what we have. So you have Adekunle, Akinshope, Christiana, Chukudi, Godoy, Jemima, Kolade, and Tolulope. Now that you've sorted the register. So in this case, how about you want to reverse a list? You want to reverse a list. Oh, there are 3 hidden cells here. Okay, good. So imagine you want to reverse a list. So you have my list 1, 2, 3. My list. So to reverse the list, just say my list dot reserve, and then you can now print my list now. So 1, 2, 3 becomes 3 to 1 automatically, because you have chosen to reverse it. I run and you get 3 to 1. Then imagine you want to reverse this list 3, 1, 2, 6, 4, 7, 5, 8, 10, 9. So if you reverse it, it becomes 9, 10, 8, 5, 7, 4, 6, 2, 1, 3, right? So just say my list dot reserve and then print, and you have exactly that 9, 10, 8, 5, 7, 4, 6, 2, 1, 3. Reversing this now. Okay. What if you want to reverse? So you have sorted these names that we saw. This name is actually sorted now. You have Adekunle, Akinshope, Christiana, Chukwudi, Godoy, Jemima, Kolade, and Tolulope. Now it's in alphabetical order already. So you want to reverse that list. So you just say my class underscore register underscore 2 dot reverse. Then you have Tolulope, Kolade, Jemima. Then Adekunle is last now. So if you run this now, okay, class register 2 is not defined. Why? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we have Tolulope, Kolade, Jemima, Godoy, and Chukwudi. So reversed like that. So how about you want to remove from lists? If you want to remove something from a list, imagine you have create a list of numbers 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, right? 7 is not there. If you print the numbers now, it gets printed exactly what you have here. And then I put this blank print so that we can have some space in between results. So next, this is indexing. I think we've done indexing previously. Yeah, but okay, I guess I should create another thing for this, right? Yeah, I think I should create something else for this. So let me just create a new heading for that, because this is about referencing or indexing a list item. So let me create text now, and then I create a code after that. So here I have indexing, and a list item, indexing a list item. Okay. So I have this, and then after that, I need a code box. So this can come now. Okay, if I can just move it up. So I can move like this. Let's take it above this place. So indexing a list item, this can still go. Yeah. So this can then be deleted. So you can index a list item just like we've said before. So here you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So if you print the numbers and you have exactly that, then if you want to index number five, the number at the fifth position in the list of numbers here. So that's 0, 1. Don't forget the 0 is the beginning. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is 6 here. So if you run that, you get 6. So imagine the other time we've been talking about, so let's talk about the class register 2, for instance, now. So let me just run this and create a new cell automatically. So if I post this here, and then I need to print, so I need to print, so I'm not reversing now. I just need to print the, let's say, how many students do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be from 0 to 7. So I want to print the fifth student too. So I just say class underscore register underscore 2 and reference the fifth one. So that's Jemima. That's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Jemima is the student at position 5. Following Python counting, that's like, if you start from 1, that should be position 6. So we can actually index a list item like that. Then how do we remove items from lists now? So there are two ways, as we saw in the list before. We can use remove and we can use pop. So here, we want to remove an item from the list using remove. So the numbers list that we created is what we are still referring to here. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So if I just say numbers.remove, so it will remove the number 3 from the list. So instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, so 3 will be gone. So we run this now, and 3 is done for 1, 2, 3. I mean 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, because 3 is no longer there. Then when we pop like this, so if you remove an item from the list using pop, so here what happens is that it remove the last number from the list and store it in a variable. Okay, so in this case now, you can then have last number is equal to number.pop. Okay, so it removes the last number, which is 8 in this case, and stores it in a variable called last number. So if you, by the time if you print numbers now, that last number 8 is gone, right? It has been popped, but then it has been stored as last number. So if you run this now, you're going to get, so for the, after you have popped this last number 8 now, the list remains 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, but the last number has been stored as last number, and that is 8 right here. So it's more like you use append to add a number, to add a number to the end of a list, and then you use pop to remove that last number and save as another variable, right? So that's that about list. You can see it's quite interesting. Let's go on to talk about tuples. Because tuples are immutable, we don't have so much to discuss here. We can only talk about declaring them and indexing them, just like we've seen for sets not quite long. So for tuples, now tuple variables are used to store ordered sequences of values like lists, but they are immutable. So tuples are just like lists, except that they are immutable and they cannot be changed. That's what that means. And they are declared using parentheses. Tuples, I mean, lists are declared using square brackets, while tuples are declared using parentheses, right? So to declare tuples now, easy. Imagine you want to declare a tuple called X. You just have X is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. In fact, let me separate this. Let me create another cell for code now. So I do this code. So I'll just copy and paste and then delete what I don't want in each cell. So here, okay. Okay, this Control C, paste, Control V. So I just want to focus on X here. All right. So this can go, and then this can also go. Okay. So now the only difference now is that X is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you print X now, it just gives you, so it gives it to you like this in with parentheses like that. Then when we come here, the focus shifts to Y. So we want a list, a tuple rather, called Y. So we have, and it's a list of fruits. So Y is apple, banana, cherry. So I mean, because it is ordered, so the apple, banana, and cherry will come out in the order in which you have declared it. So if you print Y now, you get this. Okay. So a list is ordered. So we can index. That's why indexing is the next thing. But because it is immutable, we cannot do anything apart from indexing. So maybe you just want to retrieve an information at any point in time. Imagine that you want the fourth the element at position 4, the element at position 4 for variable x. So we know variable x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the element at position 4 is automatically 5 because the element at position 0 is 1, then at position 2 is 1. The element at position 0 is 1, the element at position 1 is 2, the element at position 2 is 3, the element at position 3 is 4, the element at position 4 is 5. So if you now say print x 5, print x 4, you are going to get 5 in that case, right? Because 5 is at position 4. In fact, let me do alternate enter so I can create a new cell automatically. Then what about the element at the first position in the variable y? That's apple, banana, cherry. So y of 0 is apple because it is ordered. So apple occupies the 0th position while banana is 1 and cherry is 2. So if you print this now, you get this. Of course, you can also do what we've been doing before. You can actually reference from the back, right? So let's say print x minus 2. So print x minus 2. So of course, that is going to be x minus 2. This is x of minus 2. This is minus 1, that's 5. Minus 2 is 4. If you count from the back. So that should actually be 4. And we run that and we get 4. So in this case too, if you want to, let's create another cell and you just want to print, we have 3 elements, right? So print y of say 1, okay? Or should I say 2? 2 will be the last one, okay? Or if I add something to it, let me add something to it. Let me add guava to this list. But of course, after adding guava, you have to run it to register it. So guava has been added now. So in this case, if I now come and print, so y will also be updated automatically. Oh, okay. That's y, right? Y of 0, nothing has changed. So I've added guava. So y of 2, so that means I have 0, 1, 2. So cherry is at number 2. Okay. So print y of 2, and we have cherry. Now, what if I print y of minus 2? Okay, y of minus 2, will be y of minus 2. That means we're counting from the back. That is, oh, minus 2 is also cherry. Okay, so let's say y of minus 3 then. Y of minus 3, that should be giving us banana 3. So here it's cherry based on what we saw, right? That's cherry. And then here we have banana. So run that and you get banana. Okay, with this, we've come to the end of list and tuple operations in Python. This is actually helpful. You can actually deploy it as a software engineer, data analyst, or whatever. You can actually find this very, very useful. Let me know how helpful this is for you. And if there's something you'd like me to try, feel free to let me know. If you have subscribed already to this channel, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, of course, you're missing a lot already. So go ahead, hit the notification bell. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. It even gets better. You can become a member and you get special privileges. Just click on join and you see different levels of membership, and feel free to join, and then let's interact together in this community. Ultimately, don't forget to comment, like, share, so that more people can have access to the great content I have going on here. Till I come your way again, keep doing Python right. Bye.